Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nations Organization's main fan page, where I do this daily live stream, or nearly every day, around the divination cards or the oracle cards that I draw in the morning. And it's all about a spiritual conversation. So, welcome. Today is Wednesday, February 6th, and this I am like up to here to my eyebrows in magazine, Star Nations magazine items, because we publish on the 10th, and we're zeroing in. We're almost got it finished. I'm in the stages of the last pieces of optimization, and then from there we'll do the testing to make sure all the links work and all of that. And so we're so close. We're so close. Yeah, we're going to be ready well before the 10th. So that's like a gift, right? That's for me. It's like a gift. So welcome. Notice I am back in my meditation room to broadcast the show. I can tell you what, I'm glad that I'm able to bounce back and forth between the academy and here to do these live streams. Last night when I left after Communications from Home show, my weekly show, I knew that the roads were bad because I had asked Paul to drop me off, and we only live a block. It's not. I could have probably walked it, but it was really icy. And so when he came and got me a little bit after 8 and we came home, the roads were even worse. And so it's a good thing, I had grabbed some of my studio stuff just in case the roads weren't really good by the afternoon. Well, they are, but George is sick. Yeah, I think he ate something he wasn't supposed to eat outside. And so he's been sick most of the day. He's been sleeping, threw up a couple of times this morning. So we're sticking close to the house. And so that's why I'm up here in the meditation room. And I actually, it's a nice space to broadcast from, actually. I kind of like it. Yeah, so before we get moving further down the road with the card draws, I'm going to like and share the live stream, and I invite you to do the same. If you would help us do that, it would really be really nice, because that way those people, one, they were going to come and watch, and you get busy and you forget, right? And it kind of gives them a little tap on the shoulder and say, weren't you supposed, you said you're going to be here, right? Okay, there's that group. But there's also those souls, those seekers. Do you remember what it was like when you first kind of woke up to your spiritual life and you were trying to read and go to classes and absorb all this kind of information, so much like a sponge, right? Yeah. And you're looking things up online and such. Well, when we do the shares and the likes, it helps people to find us a little bit easier. And so we appreciate it, and I'm sure that they appreciate it as well. So I'm going to like and share. It doesn't take long. I just have to find the broadcast. All right, here we are. Here we are. I'm going to like it, and I'm going to share it over to my newsfeed. And just to let my friends know, right, that I'm broadcasting. Okay. It's, hey, friends. And to please join. There we go. There. Simple. It doesn't take long. So thank you for allowing me to pause there for a minute to get that done. I see there's 12 shares. Thank you, guys. That's so nice. That's so nice. Thank you so much. Now let's see who's in the chat. Who's here? Cindy Lynn's here. Good afternoon, Cindy Lynn. Good to have you here. And I think you did post a picture, didn't you? I think it was you. Wait a minute. I could be mixing you up. Did you get your magazine in the mail? Your past issue? And yeah, and she's saying good afternoon. Hey, Rochelle's here too. Hello, Rochelle. Good to have you here. How you feeling? Doing better, I hope. It sounded like it anyway, that you were well on your way to recovery from your surgery. Hello, Julie Shumway Hill. Good to have you here. It's always nice to see you in the chat. And thank you, Rochelle. You're so good at that, helping us to do that. I appreciate it. Healing blessings for George. Thank you, Julie. Yep. Yeah, he's sleeping a lot. I did some hands-on healing for him this morning. Laid with him for a little bit, and he's still a baby. He's going to be 7 months in about a week, and so yeah, his ears get real long. He gets real droopy, and he came over and put his head on my knee and pitiful. And so I did some healing work on him and laid with him for a little bit, and he seemed to settle down. He hasn't eaten much today. In fact, I don't think he's eaten anything at all today. But that, as long as it's just one day, it's not going to hurt him at all. So thank you for that, Julie. Hey, and Pat's here too. Hello, Pat. Good. Thank you so much, and thank you for being here. So got to take a drink of water already. Mm-hmm. So today's card is very interesting. Very interesting. In fact, I think maybe it might actually bring up some memories. And I love the box. The box of the picture of the cards is up at the Academy. So, but yeah, I can show you the book cover anyway. So we're using I'll get the glare out of there. The Druid Animal Oracle deck by Philip and Stephanie Cargome, and illustrated by Bill Worthington. It's copyrighted 1996. So it's been around for a while. It's coming from obviously the Druid perspective, right? And so I'm learning a lot about Druidry and about that UK kind of perspective, but more importantly, there's a lot of history there, and and I know that Star Nations, we are a global community. We reach with the shows and the magazine, we reach all the way around the world. And so the information, I think what it does is it helps us to remember. We all carry certain information within our DNA, right? And so from our ancestors. And so you may be finding memories floating to the surface, or feeling emotional about a piece or something like that. And I think that that's our soul speaking to us, right? Yeah. So today's card is the Swan. And in Gaelic, I think it's Eala, if I remember right, the pronunciation of the word. Hang on. Let me get to Swan. Yep, Eala. It's spelled, the Gaelic is spelled Eala, Ella, meaning swan in Gaelic. Isn't that a gorgeous picture? Get two swans. And way in the back. Oh, now I remember what I was going to do. Rats. I was going to upload pictures of Newgrange. That's Newgrange in the background. Ireland. It's a cairn, a burial tomb. Newgrange. Gorgeous artwork. So we got two swans. Notice the necklace on the swan's neck. Yeah. In the water. Either taking flight or just landing, huh? Yeah. And with the sky, is that kind of looks like a sunrise or maybe a sunset, maybe? Yeah, swans. And the information that I knew about swans before reading what the authors have to say about it, I was thinking about swans, and I do know that they mate for life. I do know that. and that they're migratory, right? And swan feathers are used in healing work when you're dealing with deep emotions, when because of the water connection, right? And of course, they're white feathers usually, and so you have that the essence of the color of the white, the meaning of the white, that purity, that holiness, um, that sacredness of the swan feather. And I do have a swan feather. It was gifted to me, oh gosh, years and years and years ago. I should have brought it up with me. I didn't even think about it. Um, Maybe what I'll do is bring it with me tomorrow, and you guys can see it tomorrow. But the swan, there's lots of stories about swans too, right? Um, there's the one with King Lear and his children. That's the one a lot of people know. But there's in ballet, there's the swan dance, right? Um, yeah, I was just thinking about that. And so, we have things within our modern culture that we know about swans. The swan song, right? I think that's a little bit of a cliche or a quote. The swan song, that is when you're taking like your last breath, right? The swan song. Um, yeah, and there's some things that go along with the length of their neck too. Where we talk about our throat chakra, right? And the trumpet of a swan is really loud, and it goes and it echoes and it goes on for a really long time. It's really a loud sound, that trumpet sound. Yeah, let's see. Rochelle is saying, have to go to a vascular surgeon regarding my kidneys. What? And the freezer in the garage stopped, and I'm cooking a lot. Oh my gosh. Huh. That I didn't even know you had problems with your kidneys, Rochelle. Andrea, hey, Andrea's here. Good afternoon, Andrea. Oh, yep, and the ugly duckling. That's right. That's right, Rochelle. I forgot about that one. The ugly duckling. That story. Yeah, that moral to that story, right? Yeah, we're going to show the card. This is the card that came today. Swan. In Gaelic, it's Eala. And we have two swans, one in the foreground. And we're saying, don't know. It might be she, actually, may be landing or are taking off, one of the two. And what's that over in the corner? We have like a juniper berry, looks like. You see that splashing of the water? And I was saying that I do know that swans mate for life. And way in the background, that's Newgrange in Ireland. Newgrange, I've been there maybe, is it 4 times, Newgrange. It's a burial site. So if you have Irish ancestry, not Celtic, Irish ancestry, that's where your ancestors, some of them may be interned, may be buried. Yeah, and I was sitting thinking about Ireland. I wish I could go back. I will at some point. I just don't know when. And I was thinking about my friend Amantha Murphy. I met Amantha over in Ireland when I was on a tour there, and since then she's taught for Star Nations a couple of times, and I've interviewed her, I don't know, 3 or 4 times, and she's spent time here, and she and my mom had really good conversations and that sort of thing. And I was thinking about the stories that she's told. She is such a good storyteller, and we should probably find the one recorded interview that I have with her, and she tells the story about the invasions of Ireland. And she says that the old Irish, the ancient Irish, they were invaded 3 times, and the Celts were one of those invasions. And so the Celts are not indigenous to Ireland. There's a lot of people who assume that they are, and they're not. Um, yeah, they were one of the invaders. And so anyway, she tells that story along with the story of the Tua de Dana, and the author actually talks about the Tua de in the swans, and we're going to get to that in a second. The Tua de are they call them mystical, um, like that they're a folk story, um, and there are many people, old Irish traditionalists, who believe that the Tua de Dana existed and still do. And that anyway, Amantha tells the story really, really well. I mean, about the Tua de Dana, and so we'll take a look for that and get it posted for you guys if you want to listen to it again. All I can say is, if you listen to it during the daytime, brew a cup of tea and sit and listen. She is quite the storyteller. If you listen to it in the evening, you might want to sit down with a glass of wine or your favorite beverage and sit and listen and relax into it. Because if you have any ancestry there, it's going to strike a chord with you. It will. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about the swan from what the author has to say. The swan is about soul, love, and beauty. The card depicts a scene from the Irish tale of Angus. I think that's how you spell it, or you pronounce it. Oenghus, Angus. In the foreground, let's see if we can get the picture in there. In the foreground is the lake where a beautiful girl, Ewberry, changes into a swan every other year at the same time of Samhain. To win her, Angus, the god of love, becomes a swan, and they both fly to his house at Burnaboen, which is now known as Newgrange, and pictured on the horizon. As with many swans that appear in the old tales, there is a gold chain around Ewberry's neck. Okay, so that must be not a juniper berry, but a Ewberry down at the bottom. So she's got a gold chain around her neck. And the words associated with her is soul, love, and beauty. Soul, love, and beauty. Yeah. Beautiful picture. Let's see. I'm a little behind in times here. Hey, Rob's here. Hello, Rob. He says The Bonnie Swans is a song by Lorena McNennett based on an old murderer ballad. Oh. Hey, maybe you can share the link with us, Rob, if you haven't done it already. I'm a little behind. Yeah. And Stephanie is saying, in parts of rural northern Asia, the gift of a white swan is considered a marriage proposal. Wow. How do you know that? Were you proposed to? And Rob says the swan represents the beauty inherent in the land that eventually exposed the sin of the covetous sister. Oh, huh. And she's also saying that, and doth sit my false sister Anne, a heave ho and me bonny o. Oh my God, that sounds so Irish. And Rob says, who drowned for the sake of a man, the swan swim so bonny o. Those lyrics. Stephanie is saying, interview with Amantha Murphy. Good, thank you. Boy, you're quick, Stephanie. You're quick. Thank you. Like I said, I interviewed Amantha, I don't know, 3 or 4 times, and the first one I think is where she tells the story of the invasions, and maybe even the Tua de Danann. The shining ones is what they call them, the shining ones. Okay, on with the author. He goes on to say that Ella brings us the qualities of soul, of love and depth, grace and beauty. Being associated with the Druid festival time of Samhain, the swan is also a bird of the threshold and represents that part of us which can travel into the other world. Drawing this card may indicate that you will receive inspiration from the other world or that love is entering your life. It is auspicious to draw this card if you are preparing to write a song or poem, for the swan's skin and feathers were used to make the bard's ceremonial cloak called a tugan. Tuin. Can't pronounce it. Where's Mervyn when you need him? Tugen. Tugen. Tugan. I don't know if that's probably not right. And I'm going to read a little bit about the reverse. We did not get it in the reverse today. We did not. Okay. But had it been in the reverse, it may have meant that you need to come to terms with a separation. The old tales of the swan show that in reality there's no separation from the ones we love, only transformation when one form to another. But to continue our journey in this world, we need to be able to say goodbye to those we are separated from, even though we know that ultimately we may be together again. The separation we are faced with, however, may be internal rather than external, and Ella may be calling us to connect more deeply with our own soul. When I read that, I thought, I'm going to mention that, because even though we didn't receive it in the reverse, there may be people in your life, there may be situations in your life where, in the Native language, in Native American languages, there is no word for goodbye. Bamamina, which I say every afternoon to you, is Potawatomi for until we see each other again. And the reason why is because we believe that the spirit of the soul is immortal. And so we may not see each other in this form again. We may see each other in spirit form. But we're still the same soul. We're still the same spirit, right? Yeah, that's why they say that. And so the reason why I read that piece to you is that if you are experiencing a separation of some kind, that it may be helpful to you to call on the medicine of the swan to help you with dealing with and being more understanding of the separation from a soul point of view. From the soul point of view. Yeah. All right. All right. Oh, here you go. Thank you, Rob. He shares the YouTube of the song with us. Good. I'm going to watch it after we're done here. Yep. Here's another interview with Amantha. I told you I've done a few of them. Oh, good. And he also adds the Wikipedia, the Tua sisters, the song. It's Northumbrian. Oh, they're the border people on the border, a border of England and Scotland. Yeah. There's a whole history there, isn't there? All right. So here is some more information. There is a tradition of the swan. It says that the okay, if I'm mispronouncing these, I am really sorry. Apologies. I'm doing the best I can with this, okay? So it says the Turnanog, I think that's right, was the name of the land of eternal youth in the other world. The white swans of the wilderness were 4 children of the Tuatha De Danann, one of the earliest races to inhabit Ireland, having originally come from the northern Greek Isles. They became the fairy folk, the Shai, who lived underground. Okay, here we go. There's lots of us who say they still live underground, that they are the fairy, that when they moved away from the world of the two-legged, of the human, They moved as far away as possible interdimensionally. All right. So they're living inside of Grandmother Earth. And when they come out as the fairy folk, or maybe even the plasma beings, is what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. And so they moved interdimensionally further away from man. He goes on to say, in the hollow hills, when they were driven there by the invasion of the Millicans, although the Donans were a mythological race. Okay, this is where Philip and I are in disagreement. I don't think they were mythological. I think that they were real. They are real. History and myth have become extremely intertwined, and there are indeed traces of trade and travel between the lands of ancient Greece and the British Isles. Yeah, he goes on to say, he talks about the Apollo, okay, the Greek god Apollo. It says that the swan with Apollo's bird was often pictured singing with a lyre. Its association with grace, beauty, and the feminine has been so strong that it's also been associated with the song in the Celtic tradition. We talk about a swan song, the last performance, work of art, or gesture made shortly before the person dies. Of course, he goes on to talk about the swans of Lear, King Lear. It says in Ireland in the old days, if you saw a swan, you would say, "My blessings with you, white swan, for the sake of Lear's children." Lear was the king of the Tuatha De Danann, who had 4 beautiful children, 3 sons and a daughter. They were loved by all except for their stepmother, and she touched them with a druid's wand and turned them into swans. They could still talk. They had human feelings, but they were swans, and they had to live 900 years, and uh, and they could be turned back into humans again once there was a marriage between the North and the South. Okay, and when that happened, yes, they were turned back into humans, but they were 900 years old, and so they didn't last very long. Um, yeah. I think you guys might remember that story, right? It says that the swan's graceful form clearly connects it to the goddess and to the qualities of beauty and femininity, which is why the theme of the maidens turned into swans occurs in folk tales throughout the world, the most well-known being enacted in the ballet Swan Lake. But the theme of the maiden turning into a swan is also an allegory of death, the swan representing the soul, which is usually seen as feminine. Yeah. So that's one thing that I didn't know about the swan, is that it's a symbolic of the soul. And so the words that's associated with this card was soul, beauty, soul, love, and beauty. Soul, love, and beauty. I didn't, now I understand why they connect the swan with the symbology of the soul, and that it's feminine, you know. Hmm. So what can Swan tell us today? Why did the essence of this card, the medicine of the swan, come to us today? The intention is to know about the most important energy flowing today for our highest good and the highest good of all. And so what is it about the swan that um, that she comes to us today? Interesting question. Because what we've done with these cards in the last couple of days is I ask, when you first looked at this card, what was the first thing that you saw or drew you in? Yeah. For me, it was the graceful landing, coming into the water. It's a Mongolian tradition. You mean are you talking about the wedding proposal with the swans? Is that what you're talking about, Stephanie? Yeah. To me, when I first saw it, of course, it was that first swan because it's so big. How could you miss it, right? And I was thinking about how it was landing, not so much of how it was taking off, but how it was landing because of the big splash there. And if the swan represents soul, I was thinking this is what we might be looking like when if we're using swan medicine and we're doing our soul work. We're making that big splash, coming in for that landing, right? Doing our soul work. Yeah. And with that chain, that necklace around its neck, it's like an adornment, right? I don't know. I'm gonna take another look to see what if they said anything more about that chain. Yeah. Andrea's saying I noticed the wings. Yeah, because you know what? Swans have huge wings, don't they? They're a big bird. They're a big bird. Yeah. Andrea said, flight, freedom, spirit soaring. Oh, good one. I like that. And Rochelle says, the little swan, I tend to look at the details of the card rather than the main focus. So you were looking at the swan in the background because they're both adult swans. So the one in the background. Now, swan, it's probably its mate. It doesn't have a necklace on, so it's a male swan, and it's probably its mate in the background. Maybe supporting the female, huh? Supporting the female, or the female is coming into the to meet with the male. Um, yeah, Stephanie is saying, "Yep, a gift of a swan was considered a marriage proposal because swans mate for life." Yeah, yeah, and so in feng shui, when we're working with a client and they're working on their relationship, with their significant other, we'll take a look in the relationship area of the house, and many times we'll make the suggestion they get if they have um, artwork in their area of the relationship that it be about couples, and it be about maybe animals who mate for life. Okay, so that would be like the crane, the swan, the wolf, the alpha wolves. Um, there's another one. Do loons mate for life? I think that's the one I was leaning toward. But anyway, we're giving them suggestions of using artwork, whether it's in pictures or whether it's statuary or something about animals that mate for life. And a lot of people will pick the swans because they're so beautiful, beautiful. And you can find a lot of artwork that have swans in them, and usually in pairs. The next most popular is the crane, I would say. Yeah, the crane is very, especially when they have more of an Asian decor. Yeah, they're going to select the crane. But I didn't know it was a Mongol tradition, part of their culture, that a gift of the swan is a suggestion of or considered a marriage proposal. Hmm. So much for horses, huh? Yeah. Mating for life is loony. I think there's the loons that do also mate for life. Um, I don't know. I think it depends on your soul contract, truly. Because I know that Paul and I have had many lives together before, and our relationship in the past, in those other lives, we've had difficulty with them, and one or both of us would walk away from it. And in this one, we basically agreed at a soul level that we were going to work things out. We were going to communicate better. We were going to be more committed to each other. And so far, so good. 40 years, it's not bad. Yeah. So, yeah. Some people, though, maybe it's not in their soul contract to be mated for life. So we have a lot of spirit in this one, I think, because they're talking a lot about the soul. They're talking a lot about the fairy folk, the Tuatha. They're talking about the other world a lot in this card. And some would even say, okay, so you have you have Newgrange up at the top at the horizon, and you have the Swan who's landing, who is near. Can't really tell, if how closely she is to the shoreline. But in order to have a Yewberry there, she must be close to a shore somewhere. Maybe, I had the feeling that we're talking a lot about the soul here, about doing our soul work, coming in for that landing, whether it's coming into the physical body and coming into this physical world to experience it. Yeah. Or we could also say that she's landing in water, and swans are all about water and emotions, right? With the being in water as much as they are, and the water is symbolic of emotions, that we have the opportunity maybe to do that emotional work, or to understand our emotions and how we can master them, and do our soul work at the same time. And Andrea's saying it seems a life partner would be very grounding. Maybe. I think it depends on the kind of relationship. I'm just thinking about that one a bit. I think it depends on the relationship. Yeah, because I would say that Paul and I have a very grounded relationship. We've been together for a long time. My parents were together for over 50, I think 59 years. Yeah. And it wasn't always good. there was a time right around I was 12 years old that I was praying for a divorce between those two. And so, I don't know. I think it depends on the marriage, on the people and what they're accomplishing together. Yeah. And Rochelle says, can you change your soul contract? If yes, how do you do it? No. My answer would be no. Because as a soul, before you even came into this lifetime, you prepared the soul contract, right? And your whole team, like your guardian angel and your the highest aspect of yourself. They worked on this for a really long time. Now, in Earth years, I don't know what that would be. Some people say 20 years of Earth time to create a soul contract, to be here, and to get the blessing, to actually come and live out this soul contract. Now, I've known people, and I happen to be one of them, who has completed a soul contract, and to be able to learn how to create a soul contract while in a living body, a physical body. And it doesn't take 20 years for that. It takes a lot of help, a lot of help, and a lot of decisions. But no, to change it, I don't think so. I think what we have built in, this is just my 2 cents, Okay, Rochelle, is that I think what we have built into our contract is that we have where we want to start and where we want to end up. But we have lots of different possibilities and pathways to get there. And so it depends on which path to choose, because the experience is what matters. It's the soul growth is what matters. Yeah, and one of the things I do know is a two-legged mind, a human mind. Um, you really have to be able to be in a balanced way to be able to create a contract like that. Yeah. So I would say no, you can't change your original contract. I do know that there are possibilities. I think it's all built into it. We have 5 exit points in our life, and we can choose to not exit when those points come up. And that fifth one, we don't get a choice. That's it. You're done. You've gone as far as you can go, and you've accomplished all of this, and now it's your turn to exit back into spirit and celebrate what you've accomplished, right? Yeah. So you also have walk-ins, and when you have a walk-in soul, that means the soul in that body walks out. That's an exit point. Is that changing your contract? I don't think so. I think it's built into it. My 2 cents. Uh, and Stephanie is saying, you plant and bury info. Yay! Oh, from the British trees too. Perfect. Thank you, Stephanie. We're going to take a look at that. And Stephanie says, I've always wondered how people that fast cycle set up their soul contracts, if it's set up prior to the prior life. I'm not sure what you mean by fast cycle setup. You mean when you exit, you cross over, you walk on, and then you do a quick turnaround to come back into another body. Is if that's what you mean, we can talk about that a little bit. Okay, and Andrea is saying that would be a great topic for a talk about soul contracts. Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? Yeah, we can do that either at the Academy 1 hour mini class, or I can do it as an hour show. And maybe we can bring, um, I was just thinking about 3 people all at the same time. Carl, maybe Carl wouldn't mind coming on and talking about life scripts, which are soul contracts actually. And maybe we can talk to Polly Joe about that, and myself. And I'm thinking, I wonder, I'm going to talk to Maureen and see what she has to say about soul contracts. I think we could have a good panel going there. Yeah. So are you talking? Yes, reincarnating within hours or months of the previous life ending. Yeah. I think that what we have to do. This is a feeling, Stephanie, um, is that we're trying to put this into Earth time and from the other side, because there is no time and space on the other side of it, right? So it may seem like it's a quick turnaround when in somebody's reality it's not. That sounds funny. Sounds convoluted, doesn't it? Sounds convoluted. Uh, I'm just saying the panel would be great. Yeah, it would be. Take one subject and different perspectives of it. And it would be fun too, I think. Um, yeah, and I think it also depends on how much healing, how much time that soul needs, space. They're saying space, not time, space, to recuperate. That's a good word, to recuperate after their experience in a physical body. Because just as much as we have integration time here between experiences, we have that on the other side too. And so I think it depends on how much recuperation time, space, space we need for that to occur. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, what they're showing me is, it makes me laugh. You know those cartoons where you have the quick change artists, they spin really fast. They're one thing and then they spin around really quickly and they turn into something else. And they usually have the really fast music with it. Yeah, that's what they're showing me. I think they're joking around. Yeah, it's like it's hard to put it into our terms here on Earth in the time frames that we live our lives by, that linear time, you know? Yeah. It might seem like it's quick to us, but it's not. It's not. And it also depends on the recuperation space they need. Because there's some souls who don't need as much space to recuperate, where there's others who have been through a lot of huge soul growth. And so they need the space to recuperate and to integrate, they're saying. All right. Julie is saying, yes, a spiritual roundtable discussion of soul contracts. Okay. All right. We can do that. I'll figure out when. Okay. We can see if we can fit it in February, maybe. Because we have the mini class coming up and we don't have a topic or a teacher yet. And when that happens, it's usually me that fills in. But I can send it out to the hosts and the contributing writers and see what they have to say and who's available, right? Who's available. Yeah. All right. We'll work on that. So let's get back to the card. And good question. Good one, Michelle, for bringing that up, the soul contract. Because I mean, that was my feeling when I first picked up the card and looked at it, and having this swan coming in for a landing. It's like the soul coming in for this landing into this physical life, right? That's what it was for me anyway. And how did I even get to that? Well, that's what it felt like to me. And then I read about the soul from the author, and the fact that that's Newgrange sitting up there on the hill. Newgrange is a burial cairn, and only part of it has been excavated, and only part of it is open to tourism. Okay. Now, Amantha was telling me that years ago, like in the 70s, she said that they would go up there all the time. It wasn't any, there's no tickets or anything like that. You just went up there and spent time. Sometimes the gate would be locked, but it sat on some property that the owner you just have to go knock on their door and say, can I go up to the hill? And they would give them the key to open it up, just drop off the key when you're done. And so she was saying it was much different then. And you had to take torches with you, flashlights, because there was no electricity run up there. Well, now there is, but anyway, the cairn itself, on the inside, when you walk through the portal or the door, you have to step over a lint rock. It's a horizontal, and you have to kind of step over it. And the passageway is rather narrow, and you can't wear a backpack. You actually have to take your backpack off because you're not going to make it through there. And you kind of have to kind of turn, and try to get through. And then it opens up. It's almost like a birth canal, really, because then it kind of opens up into a big room. And to the right, off to the right is another smaller room that has a big rock in it, and that is, they say that is for like I think it was for the queen, if you want to call it that, the female leader. And then straight ahead is another smaller room area, and that was for the medicine person or the holy person, the shaman. And then there was another one off to the right, which was for the male leader. And yeah, and so that's where they were buried. But they had many different bones in there, not just a few, right? So for me, seeing that, it's like, okay, that is where the physical, they put the physical body when the spirit left, right? But it's so connected to the earth. And so this is like a soul coming in for a landing, is what I felt. That's what I felt. But it depends on where you're at in life too. Maybe you are working on that committed relationship or a relationship, period, and looking for that long-term relationship. Because the mate is out there in the distance. Yeah. And it's about beauty too, right? It's about beauty too. Certainly, we have both Grandmother Earth, and we also have, in many different forms, we have her in the rolling hills. In Ireland, they believe that the land is the goddess. That's her body. That's her body. Those rolling hills is her body. The lake is her body. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Hey. Okay. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but I'm going to see if I can get it at camera. On the wing, do you see those? Are those water bubbles? I don't think it's moon cycles. But if they're water bubbles, isn't it interesting that they have them lined up that way? Huh. That's interesting. It could be because down at the bottom, right through, whoops, let's see, where am I? Here, right over here, down at the bottom, kind of splashy. You have more kind of droplets coming off the wing. It's just interesting. I don't know. That's too funny. I just noticed that. And that top one, correct me if I'm wrong, but that top one actually kind of looks like there's a face or something on it. Huh. I'm trying to get it as close to the camera as I can. Interesting. And Rochelle saying, is there a real lake by Newgrange? Let me think. It's not like right next door. It's not like it's depicted in the picture. No. What's around Newgrange is all rolling hills. Yeah. There's those big stones in Newgrange, those big stones. The River Boyne is really close to Newgrange, a river, and there are water birds along that river. Those big stones, they say, the historians say, the archaeologists say, that the ancient ones, that stone was quarried hundreds of miles away. They know that. But how did they get the stones there? And the story goes is that the ancient ones floated them down the River Boyne, and then what they did was they used timber trees to roll them up into place. Okay. And I remember the first time I was there, I'm in the museum and I'm looking at this and I'm like, that's a lot of work. That's like saying, all those pyramids were built by slaves, right? That's a lot of work. That takes generations after generation. George is awake. It takes generations, right? Or it takes cooperation of nature. And maybe the stones actually cooperated and said, yeah, I volunteer. And I will make my way there. Right? That's what I was thinking. But it's that the Newgrange, it's a very, I don't want to say magical, but I may tell you, that you are near spirit when you're there, for sure. Okay, let's see. Stephanie's saying water droplets from hitting the pond. That is true. That is true. But as I was looking at it, I wish I could show you the card in person. Because it really does look like there's something inside or on top, the artist drew something there. Yeah. I don't know what that is. It feels like something, though. It feels like something. And Andre is saying, very interesting and beautiful card today. I agree. I totally agree. Certainly has sparked some conversation, that's for sure. It's about the soul, about love, and about beauty. About soul, love, and beauty. And with Ireland, if you get a chance to listen to the interviews with Amantha, I know I'm partial, but I think that you'll enjoy the storytelling and enjoy, especially if you're Irish, if you have any Celtic blood, DNA, that you'll be doing some remembering when you listen to her stories. And the connection between the Tuatha Dana in Ireland is, to me, I get very emotional when I hear the story. Yeah. So you have to let me know how you feel about those. If you listen. And Roberta's here. Hey, Bobby. She says, hello, friend. Sorry, been living with, have not been live with, oh, okay. Randy, I'll read back. He sprained his back. Love this deck and would have used them for 20 some years. They have great energy. Yeah, they do, don't they? They really do. You have to thank Mervyn for sending them to me. So, you know that the cards that come to us each day, it's about what's important for us to know about that energy that's flowing on this particular day. And so whatever that is for you and that Swan medicine can bring for you, whatever resonated with you in the discussion and the conversation we had, is to embrace it and just be aware, notice, sense, and feel the energy that's unfolding around you, right? Yeah, and if you need assistance, call on Swan Medicine. Call on your spiritual team to assist you. Yeah. And if it didn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. It's okay. That's fine. You're not going to hurt anyone's feelings by saying it didn't resonate with me. That's okay. There's always tomorrow, right? There's always tomorrow. So tonight is Soul Connections with Polly Jo LeBay, and you know that Polly Jo is on vacation. I hope she's having a great time or grand time. We're going to be doing a replay of her very, very first Soul Connections live stream. I think you might enjoy the meditation, the healing meditation that goes with it, and how she used to draw the cards because it was a smaller group then. And it's a little piece of understanding the backstory of how Soul Connections came to be. I thought you might enjoy it. So, and you can always meet me back here tomorrow afternoon. Oh, wait, hold it. Hold the phone, Joan. On Friday. Meet back here Friday. I was just informed this morning that there is a very important business meeting that I have to attend. It's about the magazine tomorrow afternoon. So I'm not going to be doing a live stream tomorrow. I was going to see if there was another host was available to do the live stream and use their own deck of cards and do the draw pull that way. There may be. I haven't found out yet. Okay. And Stephanie, I will let you know as soon as I can. All right. So I won't be doing it tomorrow. We may have another host filling in. That's a possibility, or we'll see you on Friday. Okay. All right. So enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you on Friday for sure. All right. Bama Mina. I love you guys. We'll see you later.